And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio at the Maritime College in Throgs Neck, New York. I have a chance to talk to the head football coach, Kendrick-Holmes. And, Coach, a very successful trip up to Massachusetts, Buzzard Bay, for your game Friday night against Maritime. Tell us a little bit about it.
It was a great night for us and a really good trip. It's a long trip to do it in a day trip, but we go up there. It's a great atmosphere at night, whether it's up there or down here. So we've just kept it at a night game. But Admiral Fultus, Al Fultus, was up there with their president, and we had a really nice ceremony at the beginning of the game. Basically just remembering all the folks with Harvey and Irma, and their ship, the Kennedy, had left previously and headed down for hurricane relief, and then our ship actually left yesterday, the Empire State 6, and so everybody's in all together on helping out in the relief efforts down there, and we have, both teams have a lot of players and a lot of people in the industry that are down there that are affected, and their families and things, so our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Absolutely. Now, this was kind of a shootout, big offensive game. Your quarterback, your receiver, all had big games like they did here the week ago. Just tell us a little bit about the offense on the day.
Yeah, well, Tom Wright had a tremendous game and was, the ECFC Offensive Player of the Week again, and just had a tremendous game. Got himself in a little bit of trouble, but then was able to get himself out of the trouble too, and just phenomenal in moving around the pocket and finding open receivers. Brandon Drumgoal had another fabulous game, and caught a bunch of balls for a lot of yards, and it really was a shootout. Defensively in the first half, we did a great job of stopping them, and the offense was keeping ahead of them, and then in the second half, defense just couldn't stop them, and the offense did a great job of staying ahead, and then defensively we were able to stop them right there at the end. So it was a great game to watch. It was a traditional rivalry, and I was just happy that we came up on all sides, whether it was offense, defense, or special teams.
Very good. And this week you've got a third rivalry game. This time you go to your rival just across Long Island Sound, Kings Point, the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Tell us first a little bit, how are the two schools comparable? How are they a little bit different? Obviously, Kings Point's a federal school. You're a state school. Tell us a little bit about the similarities and also some of the differences of the two schools.
Well, I think the primary similarity is that we're both, putting our graduates into the maritime industry. They're are a service, they're service academy related, so they go through the nomination process, and it's also a scholarship over there, for their students, and then they have committed time after that for what they have, the time that they have and the service that they have. They do have a commitment afterwards. Over here, since it's a state school and our students are, getting in and basically, paying their way for it, and we do have scholarships and academic programs. Many of them are doing licensing as well. Most of them are doing the licensing program. So I would say the primary similarities are that we're both maritime industry schools and a licensing program for merchant mariners that go to sea. I would say the differences are with us being a state school really is that probably a few more options over here with our non-regimental program. We do have programs which focus more on the shoreside industry. So there's maybe a little bit more diversity and different options on campus over here than over there with the the full regimental military academy lifestyle.
Absolutely. We're going over there 2-0. Tell us a little bit about the challenges the Kings Point football team presents.
Well, it's kind of similar to the first week with the triple option. They're a triple option team, and they're really good up front on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. They're a very physical team, very disciplined, as you would expect from a service academy type team. They're really going to get after us. It's going to be a very physical game. Just the option always presents. They do it a little bit differently with some different sets and kind of a little bit different philosophy on their option, but it's still going to be a big, responsibility week for our defense. And then offensively, with us not being in the triple option, it does bring a little bit of a different kind of flavor to the game if we're not able to score and move the ball, and they are able to possess the ball, and so there's a little bit of a time management issues there and ball control, which will probably be a factor in the game. The other thing, it's going to be their homecoming over there, so expecting a big crowd. I know they're going to play well. They've had the week off. They have one game under their belt. We picked them up coming off of their Coast Guard game, which is a very emotional game for them too. So it'll be a little bit different than weeks past or years past, and just look forward to getting the game on Saturday.
Okay, Coach Clayton Kendrick-Holmes, head coach here of the Maritime College program at Throgs Neck, New York, and also a commander in the United States Navy Reserve. Always good to chat with you, and we'll talk again next week.
Thanks, Ken. See you next week.
Our pleasure. This is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio at the Maritime College in Throgs Neck, New York.